To the mental ward.
Hello. So everybody, welcome Lew Temple to the Jimmy Star Show.
Yay! So excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Jimmy. It's been a minute, and I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me. And I always wear your shirt. I think I sent you a picture. That was the Mississippi River I was standing in that mud with your shirt, brightfully bursting in 120 degrees in Mississippi.
Yeah, guys. Actually, you guys, Ron and I.
That shirt's got to smell real good.
Yeah, that's it's still in the Mississippi. That shirt's down the bottom of the Mississippi somewhere at this point.
So everybody, first of all, let me introduce you. You've met Ron because you met him at the convention when you met me.
Absolutely. Do you remember?
Yeah, man.
And then we've got Deidra Sarego, our Hollywood vixen.
So nice to see you, Deidra. How are you?
I'm doing lovely, and you?
I'm great, thank you. I see your fantastic backdrop, which is much better than mine. I feel like if I were to take you outside into the resplendent beauty of Los Angeles, that we'd get blown out with a lot of sun. But
yeah, that's okay. You're fine. You can go either way. We're okay. You're okay. We can see. Look at you, got a haircut. First of all, let me introduce you to Chad. Chad, say hello to Lew. I guess you met the other day.
Hey, Lew, thanks for taking the time, buddy. Welcome to the show.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for setting me up, Chad. You were instrumental in this Skype conversation. This is never as easy as people think.
There you go. And then we have a chat room full of people, so say hey to everybody in the chat room.
Oh, hey, how's everybody? How's the audience today? I always refer to the audience as opposed to fans because I think they're so symbiotic in what happens. So a lot of respect and love to the folks in the chat room.
There you go. And like did you just get a haircut recently?
I did. I cut all my hair off. I had a particular role that I was working on, and they said, "Look, would you mind?" And I said, "It's summertime, and my hair is starting to wear me." So I did. I whacked it all off. How's that?
I like it. It looks good.
You should have charged.
Thank you.
Years ago, if you had to cut your hair short, you could charge them. Studios had to pay you for cutting your hair off. I forgot. I think it was Victor Mature.
Do we get stipend? I think we do. I know for like costumes and stuff, you get a stipend.
You
for
do? Yeah.
Yeah, but years ago, if you had to cut your hair, like women.
There's occasion. You know what? Yeah, absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, Ron. I've been approached on a couple of instances to cut my mustache, which is technically hair, and that's going to cost you a little. So I have built that into my rider.
Yeah. Oh, good.
Jane Russell was making a movie with Jeff. What the hell was his name? Oh my God, Jeff. Oh, I can't think of it now. Isn't this ridiculous? Handsome movie actor. And they want Jeff. What the heck is his name? The tall, good-looking guy.
What era are we talking?
1950s, 1958 movie. It was called Foxfire. With I know everything but his name, and he's a big star, major star. Anyway, they wanted her to cut her hair very short because the role called for it. And Jane said, "Well, couldn't we do a wig?" And they said, "No, because the wigs will never look real." Well, they cut her hair, and she got paid for it, and then she had to wear wigs for a very long time until her hair grew back to her normal state. I think that's where I got the story from, Jane Russell.
Yeah, no, it is an issue, and people will want to talk about the idea of well, they can put hair on you or put a wig on you, and that is true, and they've never been better, but that is an expense that a lot of productions don't really have budgeted. It takes time, and the people that do that to make it look real are pricey, as they should be, and the material is pricey, as it should be. So
wigs, yes.
Yeah, wigs, facial hair. All of a sudden to put a beard on me and a mustache, that's another 3 hours in the chair that I'm not on set, which then is 3 hours of overtime they've got to make up somewhere, or they've got to call me in early to have that done, which means I have to be released early. It starts to be an issue, and people don't think that's the case, but believe me, I've experienced it more times than I'd like to.
But it's the union. It's the union that protects you. Can you imagine if it wasn't a union, how they would take advantage of you?
If there wasn't a union, I would be I'd be making my own movies, I suppose. I'd be in this room right here with lights and cameras, and because I couldn't afford to do it otherwise.
No, I'm a firm believer in the union, in the movie union, in SAG, because it does help the actor. Look at the retirement you have. At a retirement home, you get a good pension, whereas other fields, hairdressers get nothing. I was a hairdresser.
Yeah, these things. It's amazing, and as much as anything, the health insurance is it's phenomenal. I could never replace the health insurance for myself or my family that were provided by SAG. So yay, SAG.
Right, we are SAG. We like SAG.
I agree. Yay, SAG.
So everybody, first of all, you guys, for people tuning in, and maybe if you don't know a lot about Lew Temple, he's been in a ton of stuff. But one thing you'll definitely know him from, if you're a horror fan, is The Walking Dead. He was Axel on The Walking Dead, and I was so excited to see how many great things you've actually been a part of since The Walking Dead. So you had some great stuff before it, and now you're just taking off, dude. You're becoming a superstar. So congratulations.
Oh, it's very kind of you to say, and thank you. And, I don't think any of us, I think if Andrew Lincoln was on your show or Norman Reedus, and I'm sure they have been or they will be, they would say the same, that the visibility and the popularity of The Walking Dead has totally caught everyone off guard. I think the effort that is put forth to the work and the delivery of the program speaks for itself, but how it's landed, I think, is a cultural phenomenon. And I think we're all gushing over how blessed we are to have been part of it or to still be part of it. And I don't take for granted at all how it's touched the audience. So I'm very grateful to have had my run as Axel on The Walking Dead. Absolutely.
We actually a couple weeks ago had Ross Marquand, I don't know how you pronounce it, on the show, and he plays the gay guy on there, the out gay guy on The Walking Dead, the first one. He was super terrific, and he said the same thing. Just to be a part of it is just such an amazing thing, and it really does get you noticed even more. Which I want to say congratulations with all of that, and I also, because I looked on your IMDb and you just did a movie called The Grace of Jake, or I don't know if you've just did it or you're still doing it. But it's exciting because it's got Michael Beck from Warriors, which is one of my favorite 80s movies, and Jordan Sparks from American Idol, which is a very diverse cast of people.
It's so delightful. This movie is a real feel-good, homespun, honest story about a small town. I love to introduce it. Do you as a spin-off of A Boy Named Sue? Do you remember that song, Ron?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, he was upset with his father. And at the end of his life search was to find his father and beat the hell out of him for naming him Sue. And this is the same story. Jake has come to this small town to find his father and kill him because he has abandoned his mother and Jake. And Jake turned out to be no good, but his mother was an angel who ended up with two lousy men in her life, like so many angels. And he comes to know his father, played by Michael Beck, who is fantastic. Jake is also played by Jake Labatz, if you don't know him, you should. He's a fantastic blues, Americana, Woody Guthrie type musician who is also a very skilled actor. So a lot of talent. They come to know each other, father and son. Typically, they're very much alike. They're the same dude, and he can't kill his father. So then it becomes this whole town is watching. Hey, he's going to kill his dad. He's going to kill his dad, but he can't because he loves his dad, and his dad loves him, and his dad makes no apologies for being the man he is. And Jake comes to terms with that. And right in the middle is lovely Miss Jordan Sparks, who, as you know, is delightful and has such a personality. It was great for her to be able to not be Jordan Sparks in this movie, which I think is always fantastic for us. What I like about what I do, Jimmy, is that I can chameleon, if you will. Yes, I'm Lew Temple, but I'm also a little piece of these other people. Sometimes when you're Jordan Sparks and you've had that much attention as that person, it's hard to not be John Wayne in a movie, right, Ron? I mean, it's hard to kind of get buried in the character, and so she was able to do that with this movie. So that was a delight.
That's actually her first role too. I think though gives her that opportunity because most of the time she plays music roles.
And I think first film.
This is different.
I think it's the first film ever made that deals with patricide. I mean, I don't think there's other.
I mean, the first one that he was talking about.
The film that he's talking about, killing your father, is patricide. So I don't think there's ever been a film. We had matricide in Psycho, but we've never had patricide. So it's not an original film. Interesting to see. I'd like to see this film.
It all happened in a small town in Arkansas, in
present day.
Forest City. It's down in the South, and there's a lot of homespun. It's very colloquial, and yet there's such charm to it, and there's a throwback. I'm very interested in the concept that with all of our social media and all of our access to information through the internet and opportunities like this, are we still attached to behavior and emotion? And I think ultimately we are. It's just so different. And if someone says something bad about you on Facebook, it hurts, just as if someone might say something bad about you on the schoolyard. That hurt too. And maybe it's not so different. So these take those issues and hold them in the time capsule of what they are, humanity. And so I appreciate that.
That's cool.
Well, I'm gay, so I know what that bullshit's all about. I've heard it all my life. Now it rolls off my back. Whatever people say, they say things about me. I say to myself, blow it out your ass. I'm a star.
That's the point.
I just move on, like, please, give me a break. What are you doing? You're cleaning the streets. How dare you even speak to me? I get this arrogant, queenie attitude. But it works.
I feel like that things haven't changed. They're just rearranged. We didn't change the furniture. We just moved it, Ron. That's all.
I agree with that. But that, you know what? It depends on the circles you travel. I find that Jimmy and I are on the road a lot with a lot of the work that we do. And certain places that we go to, I see the homophobia and I feel it and I know it exists. And then other places, it's just wonderful. It doesn't happen. So it's really the narrow-minded little towns of people who have not been exposed to the real world. They've only been exposed to each other's tractors and each other's pickup trucks.
Actually, where are you actually from with your accent?
Yeah, because I hear a Matthew McConaughey.
I hear Arkansas.
Texas.
Louisiana originally, New Orleans, which, as you know, is a fantastic town.
No one has an accent in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah, they do. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
Well, their accent is a bit more like a Brooklynese. So getting back to my transition would be into Texas, then coming here for a lot of years in Texas, so much more Texas.
When I was in,
but a New Orleans accent might be a little bit more like, how you mama them that? Where you at?
Yeah.
Between the A and the T. If I don't see you tomorrow, hello to that. So it very much sort of New York, Brooklyn. And the thing about in New Orleans, the thing about it is you got to speak really fast because the minute you take a breath, that guy right in front of you is going to start talking. You're not going to be able to get a word in edgewise. So you say as much as you can when you got time to say it. Not unlike y'all in New York.
That is
true. I speak Brooklynese, and I refuse to change it. See, people say go to speech classes and learn to get rid of your accent. And I said, no, it's part of my personality. It's part of who I am.
What?
If I spoke correctly, I wouldn't be me anymore. So I like who I am, and I love my Brooklyn accent because it's adorable, I think.
That's great. So both
are we still holding on to our character? Like for me, I get hired a lot for the exact same thing. I get hired for that little je ne sais quoi, that little spice, that little thing that I do. And I feel like when I watch people, I can't discern what they do. I couldn't tell you what Ryan Gosling does. Love him to death. Love him.
So does Deidra.
Yes.
She wants to marry him.
I mean, maybe what he does is the smolder, but I could tell you what Cary Grant did.
Absolutely.
I could tell you what Robert Mitchum did, or Warren Oates, one of my favorite. You know, I know those characters, but are we still holding on to our character traits?
Well, you know, you hold what gets you work. I played a priest once, and it was a Brooklyn priest, so I guess that's it. I played a cop just recently, and he was a Brooklyn cop. So I can't get away from the Brooklyn tough guy role, which is okay because I'm comfortable with it and I like it. But I could also play a flying fag. I could play somebody that's English.
You do that in your regular life.
I mean, so why'd you marry me?
Because I like flying fags.
Imagine when I married.
Well, I'll say this. The more I do this, the more I am of the mind, and I would offer this. This might not be what an acting coach would offer, but I would say work on your strengths. They're what got you there and are going to get you there. No one's ever going to hire you on your weakness.
Definitely.
You can. I will never be hired as a black guy, nor as a woman. I could work on it all till the day ends, and I will be hired as a Southern colloquial guy, and a squirrely little hyper rat, and that's my gig. So I'm not a big buyer in building my repertoire to include a perfect British accent to go over and swing at those roles, because they're going to hire a Brit.
Yeah.
You know, I would never want to play a school teacher with eyeglasses who was timid and weak. I would be unhappy with the role. I wouldn't feel comfortable with it. But anything that's powerful, anything, I could be now I'm too old, but I could have been a general in the Army, anything that's a powerful role. I'm kind of like a Barbara Stanwyck, a male Barbara Stanwyck. You know, Barbara Stanwyck in every single movie had her moments where she'd scream, yell, and throw things and punch people around. And that was Barbara Stanwyck. So I feel I have that same kind of personality. I don't think I could ever play the sweetie little man. I like being the hard guy, the tough guy, the big mouth. What about you?
I got you.
You like those roles too?
I like a role, and again, I was just talking with a friend of mine today, Jake Busey, as a matter of fact, and we were talking about work that we had done and work in the 80s and the 90s and today's work. Which, you know, if one thing is constant, and you know that all three of you know this, the only thing that's constant is change. And our theater environment, our entertainment environment is just constantly changing and quicker than ever. So I think what we did in the 90s for our work and the efforts that we put forth to land, like in an audition, go in and really, you know, present this role. I think that doesn't have as much a place today as fitting in seamlessly into the work. I think everyone's looking to sort of just blend into real good mediocrity. And so, you know, big, fancy Gary Oldman style, big performances, I don't think show up as much today as they used to. Does that make any sense, Deidra, do you think? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more about the regular performer. I think it's more about the character performer. I think people really want to see, as far as acting skill, they really want to see more character work.
You don't think everybody just wants CGI?
Well, yeah, that's another thing I was going to go into. It seems like there's less and less storyline and less character development that is giving the actor the actual runway to go and complete this character, the transformation, the changes in the character. I feel like it's compartmentalized into little tiny characters. You have to be these character actors, and you have little bits and pieces of it. But there's really no longevity in a whole entire start to finish of
arcs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all blow up, screaming, yelling, CGI, action packed, shooting, muscles, a bright smile, and then the funny character guy, the or the slutty slut girl. You know, it's just like where's the meat? It's all bullshit trimmings.
There's no
meat left.
There's no beginning, middle, or end to film today. Years ago, they had a beginning, a middle, and an end. Now the films, they don't make any sense.
You have to go to art noir, art house films, independent films. low, no budget films. I hate to say it, but those are the ones that are really giving a turkey. It's giving turkey and the trimmings. I find all these blockbuster Hollywood bullshit, majority of them are just the trimmings without the turkey.
Absolutely.
And I want the whole kit and caboodle. I mean, for an actor, that's not challenging. I mean, character acting is fun.
Although you do get a film that Mia puts out, and
yeah, you'll get every now and then.
Helen does the films. Helen Mia does wonderful films.
Yeah.
And the other Judi Dench, all English gals, but you will get quality work from them. They're
and you will get quality
film.
work from the other ones. I find but they've got to be like independent films. They're not your typical quote unquote mainstream.
Did you see the movie with Blake Lively, the last movie she did,
The
Age of
Adele? Is it Age of Adeline?
No, I didn't see that, but I heard really great things about it.
It did terrible at the box office. It didn't really make any money, but it was a fabulous movie.
Nobody exploded. Nobody burst into flames.
It was really great, though.
Was good movie.
I heard really great things about it. She's clearly very talented, and I think that I think it might go in cycles. I think we're going to come back to good work. We've got such opportunities to tell stories with our streaming or our digital networks nowadays, and storytelling is not so much about selling dishwashing detergent on network television as it used to be, and we can do more on all forms of media like Hulu, Netflix, HBO, Showtime, those stories, True Detectives, Mad Men, Game of Thrones, Walking Dead. These stories are being told with a lot more gusto and less restraints than maybe what the networks had on them previously. So I think there's a lot of opportunity, but I think it continues to take courage to go outside of the norm or the box to do so, and to get away from CGI and to get away from big splashy fantasy. We're really in a fantasy age right now with these comic book world.
Too much.
Stories.
I love the comic book stories, but I also like The Age of Adeline. I thought was like a fabulous movie, so I kind of like both.
Those are great opportunities to really see. I think if a story's great, it gets back to, look, Once Upon a Time. It doesn't change from bedtime to around the campfire to in a classroom, your second grade teacher reading. It gets back to that. And when this all goes down the grid, or God forbid, we're going to be around the campfire, and there'll be someone saying Once Upon a Time, and we'll be engaged in listening and involved in telling the story. Right, Ron?
Well, we have more people today in the acting field than ever since it was invented, since the first camera was rolling. Everybody wants to be in the business. The unfortunate part is we don't have studios to groom us and make us fabulous actors and keep us on the payroll working in various films. Also, the CGI has cut down the ability for an actor to act. I mean, a superstar is paid $20 million for 12 minutes of work, which I think is ridiculous, and the work stinks. It's not even good work. So we're going to really have to say to Hollywood, hey, listen, boys, let's get it together. Let's get a really – Arlene Dahl, who I interviewed for my TV show, said to me, Ron, I have so many good friends in Hollywood that are writers, and they're losing their homes because they can't afford their mortgages. No one's hiring them. And they've got great stories. I'm sure you've heard this. How many writers are out west walk the streets with fabulous stories? But the producers don't want to do it because it's not going to be the mega blockbuster with the big dollar. So that's the sad part.
Actually,
wait, hang 1 minute. Years ago, Hollywood studios were held by men, human beings, people. Today, they're corporations, as we well know. Look at Disney. Disney owns everything. Half of Disney puts out is garbage. But, what are you going to do? How can we change it? What would you do to change it?
Well, I think I would go back to giving the craft of storytelling for both writers, actors, directors, producers. I would give their craft back and say, look, we're going to subsidize this. We're going to make this. You're going to make a living doing this. This is what you do, and you do it really well. Don't worry about who comes to see it or what the commerce that it brings. So I might remove the shiny carrot at the end. And I feel like if we all were genuinely allowed to do what we do for the reason that we came to do it, then it would be right, and there would be no fault. There'd be no agenda.
Beautiful said.
And also that we all felt with the comfort that we were respected for having done it. You know, way before our time, this was kind of a silly profession in medieval, going around with the wagon and being the fop and doing morality plays. But they did it. And, you know, I'm sure that being an actor, there's a real difference in being a celebrity and being an actor. And no more ever is there a separation than in today's environment. Now, there's a real confusion as to what a celebrity. I don't think there's any confusion as to what a celebrity is, but I do think there's a confusion as to what an actor may be.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, when you take Clifton Collins and put him in charge of telling a story and give him the reins to do that without boundaries of product placement. Make sure, Cliff, to get that Coca-Cola can right in frame when you.
Isn't that disgusting? I hate that.
So
I hate.
Have you worked with Clifton Collins before?
We've never worked together, but he is. He's one of my favorite, and he's always. He's he's a great guy, first of all, as you know. He's got an incredible sense of humor. He's a delight. I mean, he's just fun to be with. But beyond that, he's an amazing monster talent. He and John Hawkes are two guys that I sort of ride in their wake, if you will. And I'm always kind of just chasing them. So the roles and the work they're doing, I'm not in their dust, but I'm swallowing a little bit of it. I'll be honest about that.
Lew, you sound like a really smart guy. What would you tell Deidra what you think she should do to not be a better actress, because she's a damn good actress, but to get more movie roles in this world of insanity where everybody in Hollywood wants to be in film, and not everybody is good.
Well, I think we go back to the thing that I might have offered is that change is the one constant. That's actually the thing you hold your hat on. You know, death and taxes, they change. We live longer, so clearly that changed. And taxes, we've got more loopholes for taxes. The one thing that's constant is it actually is the North Star. A stage actress told me this years ago. She said, whenever you're lost, the North Star never leaves. It never leaves its spot. Look up, and there you are. Find confidence and grounding in that. So you'll see a few of us that will actually glance up in the midst of a scene and look for the North Star to find ourselves. All that being said, Deidra, I think today people, and if you want to be in the venue, if I want to be in the venue, I have to be aware of the changes. And what we want today, I'm looking for you to know who you are and what you're bringing to me. I've written a character, and I'm not looking for someone to find who the character is. I'm looking for you to find the character within you. So I actually just want to know you, Deidra. I don't care about Lily that I wrote as the showrunner or as the director or the producer. I want to know Deidra, and I want you to come in and tell me what you do. Are you an auburn-haired, vivacious, lovely, smoldering woman? Are you a fun, loving, jovial girl next door best friend? What is it? What's your brand? Sorry, Ron. Sorry, Jimmy. I know you hate hearing that. Jimmy, probably not you, but Ron, today we have to be aware, and that's why I say, fuck your weakness. What is your strength? And that's all I want you to do.
I agree with don't find the character, bring the character to the play. I believe that totally. Look at every actress.
Everybody in the chat room loves that too.
Every actress that Marilyn Monroe, let's do Marilyn Monroe, she brought to the character. The character, because Jane Russell was my dearest and best friend. We hung out.
In
fact, she left my house and passed away. So I've got so much stuff on Marilyn Monroe that, of course, I won't go public with it because Jane asked me not to. But Marilyn Monroe would get a script, and the script would say, dumb blonde. works as a waitress, okay? Marilyn Monroe didn't like that. She didn't like the idea that she has to portray a dumb blonde. She would interpret it as what they want is an innocent blonde girl who has to work as a waitress because she wasn't educated, because she came from a foster home. And that's what Marilyn Monroe brought to the screen. That's why we still to this day adore her, because she's that innocent little sexy number that we all want to protect, that little kitten. She didn't do what Mamie, and God, Mamie Van Doren's my friend. She's probably going to crucify me if she ever hears this.
Oh, no. Careful, Ron.
No, I love Mamie. Mamie's a good old broad. You could bang her around. Everybody has her. No, but really. Mamie's a doll. I love Mamie. Mamie, I love you. Mamie Van Doren was hard and sexy, and if she got a script saying play a dumb blonde, she played a dumb blonde. She never brought to the film, which Betty Davis, my God, fought, and I knew Betty well, fought with every single director she worked with, because the director said, no, you have to do this. And Betty said, bullshit. That's what the script said, but that's not what I say. I have to do this.
Never is there a better opportunity for Deidra to take note of yours off Betty Davis, to do what Deidra does. They're looking for you. They're not looking for the character. They're looking for the person.
For the freshness, for the originality.
Will you light up my screen? Will you light up my work, my story? Mm-hmm. It's you. And a big part of that, I have to say, is we're in an age of accelerated promotion. A lot of our talent is skyrocketed to opportunity, as well as our producers and our directors. The experience level is on the fly. The people that Betty Davis was arguing with had probably worked as much as she had. The people, Deidra, you're going in for have not had that type of experience. God bless them. They're learning. All they know is how they feel. And so that's all you can attend to. And so they're making decisions based on that. And that might be a 30-year-old young man that just knows how it caught him. And he'll say, that was awesome. And that's what I'm looking for. And you're it. So know what you do and do it. I make so many mistakes trying to play, how will they like me? Fuck that. They're going to like you. You are only you. And the other thing that's really helped me in the last several years is everything is right. Everything. No matter what comes out of your mouth, no matter what doesn't come out of your mouth, no matter where you look or how you gesticulate, it is right, like a snowflake. Every scene you do is perfect. That being said, it's only once. Directors often will say, yeah, let's do it again just like the last time. And I realize they're not saying duplicate your performance, but whatever you did to get out of your way to do a performance that was as free and clear, they want that again.
Right.
And you'll never do two alike, right, Ron? I mean, they're beautiful, organic efforts. And you know, now that I go into audition and read, I have to more than Cliff, but I realize anything that happens in the moment is right. It's great, fucking brilliant. And I'm excited for that possibility. And the last thing, I just want to offer this because you asked. I have relied my entire career on what I call the wisdom of the unknown, and simply meaning that when I get up in the morning, I had no idea the type of conversation the three of us were going to have. But what I did give into was that it was going to be this cool, this great. I don't know if I could script my life, it would not be as good as what the unknown has for me. I would limit myself with So if you allow yourself the brilliance that the world has to offer, you will be bowled over by the golden nuggets that are at your feet.
Well, I do this. Jimmy tells everybody, I never know who's coming on the show, and I don't research them because I like the unknown. That's what makes it fresh. I only work with the unknown. I did that with Set the Record Straight. We were unfiltered and uncensored and unscripted. I had no idea what I was going to ask and I had major stars. I mean, stars that used to walk off major motion picture
sure.
Positions, and I would take a chance, like with Tony Curtis. I said to Tony Curtis, Tony, what's this gay thing? Are you really gay? Now, that's a chance you're taking. He said, no, I'm not gay. I just like sex with everybody.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean,
And I loved him for it because he was honest. He liked boys, he liked girls. He didn't care. He said, I love sex. We don't care who with. But I
like the idea that unscripted, what you did was that it was so fresh and in the moment, and it probably made the show exciting. It probably what I think is great. And I think that's a big part of your work because – we have to do this over and over, as you know, and sometimes if you're really – I used to be a real preparation nut, not just knowing my lines, but knowing everyone else's and knowing intentions and alternate intentions and backstories. And I've started to realize I was just a recital. I was just a tour guide of the story being told, essentially. And this is what happens now, and now I'm going to say this, and then I will turn here. Hopefully someone's crying. I am, don't you see? And then all of a sudden I realized I'm fucking bored of myself. Who else could be interested in me? Tom Hardy, when I was doing the movie Lawless, I love this guy Tom Hardy's powerful, magnetic, sexual presence. I never met Marlon Brando. I've watched all his films. I don't know who he is other than on screen, but I would assume that he had an incredible animal magnetism, and this guy Tom Hardy has the same, in my observation, my personal observation. But he told me, look, if it's not fun for you, if you're not having fun doing the work, Deidra, how could anyone else have any fun watching you? Even if it's something awful that you're doing, enjoy it. Let's go.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, if you take a scene in the movie, and if you treat it like how I would work, if I were, in a very big important film, and somebody had to cry and jump out a window, I don't think I want to go over it in my mind. I think I want to be there when it's happening, so I get that reaction, like, oh my God, she's crying, she's out the window, and then that's the take that they would use. What do you?
I agree. Yeah.
I mean, both options work.
How would you work it? Do you like to prepare and rehearse and do all that crap before the film?
Depends on what the material is.
But don't you think you're stale after a while? I feel you get stale if you keep doing it over.
I will say this, and again, because, and I think this is something as a new actor you don't have a sense of, because most of us come off of the stage, and we're very prone to the rehearsal process. But
he's good.
The camera process is important, and it took me a long time to understand. If I do something and the camera doesn't see it, if the tree falls in the wood and no one is there to hear it, did it fall? If I'm doing something and the camera's not aware, it didn't happen. And so I don't mind a rehearsal for camera to let them know in the proximity where I'm going to be. I was so upset the other day on a film doing something when I realized, and I'm savvy enough to be on set recognizing that goddamn camera's not there. Yeah. Where's the camera? Oh shit! Now I'm going to find the camera, and which is totally counterbalance of what we're trying to do. So I don't mind a rehearsal for the camera to have a sense of I might be over here, a little business right there. Then I'm gonna go. I'm going to go jump on her on the bed and let's get this on. Okay. So follow me. Okay. It's going to be great. Yeah, I get it though. No, and there are great actors.
I believe marks. Really, I mean, knowing your lines and hitting your marks is what makes the scene work. But I think, the surprise element.
Yeah.
Of which we all, I mean, you walk into a room of 10 people and you go, hi, oh my God, look who's here. Hi, how are you? If you rehearse it so much, it comes off like, I don't know, it doesn't work well for me. Look at that.
Even on stage with Vanessa Redgrave, I had the chance to, when I was, to be with the Alley Theater in Houston, Texas, and the Redgraves, Vanessa, Korn, and Lynn brought over their Shakespeare productions, and we all formed a troupe and did Antony and Cleopatra and Julius Caesar. And every night, Vanessa, even though obviously Mr. Shakespeare's words never changed, her tonation and pentameter did change a bit every night. She kept it fresh, and we never knew. And it was such a delight because, oh my God, what's she gonna? Oh my, she just threw my hat into the audience. Oh, that bitch, And she was great, and she is great, and that was exciting for me. It was thrilling to be on stage with her, and she was thrilling, and just energy magnified.
Listen, did you ever think of being a coach? You are fabulous.
That's what I was going to ask you. I was going to say, we need to be Twitter friends because you need to be my mentor.
Wonderful. I enjoyed this interview.
No, I know. I said we need to be Twitter friends. I'm not friends.
Oh, thank you. I like
the best Hollywood interviews, all about Hollywood, not other interviews. We've had lots of great interviews, but the best Hollywood interview I have ever done. And for our listeners, you got inside dirt, kids. You got stuff that we talk about when we're in the luncheonette or the commissary in the studio hating our job.
I mean, I want to send you audition tapes and get your get your notes on them.
I mean, he's right about these 25-year-old directors that don't have their asses from their elbows, and they're going to talk to somebody like me that's in the business 52 years. Get lost. You can't even do it. And they think who the hell they are. And if you let them direct you, you look like a high school play. Some of them.
Yeah. I had a great acting coach that always used to tell me, pack your own chute. You jump out of an airplane, you better know that when you pull the ripcord, the parachute's in it. And so I think you do in your preparation have to. You never know who's going to be reading with you in an audition process. They may not read very well. Maybe some guy's girlfriend that he's just given a job for the day.
Yeah.
You need to be able to be prepared to I get this more than anything is direction, not for the honesty of I'm changing gears on you, but I want to see if you can handle direction.
Yeah.
And so if we get too tied into our preparation, and it's a good note, directors may want something different. The scene might require something different, and they'll ask a different direction. You have to let go of your preparation and be able to take on something new and be available. There's so much. I enjoy the process. I like the process more than I like the performance. I like rehearsing plays. I like doing research on characters. That turns me on. I get a hard on for the opportunity to discover. And that's the other thing, Ron. My career now is coming to a place where I know from page 1 to page 95 where we're going in the arc. But it's the discoveries along the way that I don't know about that really turn me on. Yeah. I know at the end of the day, I've got to die in a firing gunfight in, Dog Day Sunday. But it's all the jewels that I don't know about that are going to show up that make it, again, the wisdom of the unknown and the discoveries. We as children, we played hide and go seek.
Hang on one sec, Lew, because we only got a minute left.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I thought this was 2-hour gig.
Well, yeah, you got an hour.
You got an hour, and the other guy. Well, actually, 45 minutes. So you're good.
So we got to have him back, though.
We want to have you back when you're not in another job. We want to have you come back. We want everybody to follow you on Twitter too. You guys follow Lew on Twitter at Lew Temple Actor on Twitter. Check out all his movies: Zombex, Night Moves, The Lone Ranger, The Walking Dead, Unstoppable, Camouflage, Wicked Blood. I know there's more. The Grace of Jake. Check them all out. Follow him on Twitter. Lew, you were fabulous. I didn't want to cut us off because we were enjoying it so much.
And when we do our show from L.A., which we're moving after the holidays back to California, you've got to come on.
Yeah, then you can come live. Then you'll be able to sit with us in the studio.
Yeah, that'd be my pleasure. Bless you all. Much love to all three of y'all. Deidra, stay on track. Ron, keep her on track. Watch out for Jimmy. He makes this thing happen. And much love and respect to Clifton, all right? And you guys do great.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
All right, bless y'all.
Bye.
Be good to each other. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, everybody, so check out Lew Temple and Clifton Collins movies. They're fabulous. Chad, what'd you think?